How is it going, everyone? It's Caleb here, and today we are going to be talking about a horror game that is very different, very unique. We are going to be talking about a game called Squirrel Stapler. Now, that name right off the bat sounds horrific, and this game is pretty horrific. It is kind of like a dark humor horror game, but has a very disturbing storyline and atmosphere, and it does a good job just making you feel uneasy throughout the entire thing. The whole story of this game is, and there's no spoilers here. This is no spoilers. This is right off the bat. You get introduced to the story right off the bat. In fact, the game pretty much tells you right off the bat from the actual store page what it is. Right from the get-go, you are a hunter in his cabin, and you are in the cabin with a dismembered corpse. And it is your job to, in the hunter's words, try to make the corpse beautiful like the squirrels. So the only way he can think to do that is to go into the woods, start hunting squirrels, and staple them to this dismembered corpse to try to make it beautiful. And that is the story of this game. It is dark, it is twisted, it is messed up, and there's a lot of weird stuff going on, and the storyline, when you actually find like these little pieces of paper out in the woods and you read the lore, it's messed up. It is a very, very dark game. It is disturbing, and it has an actual like message underneath it all as well. And it's pretty interesting, and I think that this is definitely a game that you should play for yourself and just check out everything. I don't want to spoil too much in terms of the actual story and the lore and stuff, because I think that would be more interesting if you see the lore and stuff for yourself. But just in terms of how this game plays, whenever you first see that and then you just leave the cabin, once you see that dismembered corpse in the cabin and you leave, the first day is completely normal after that. It's just you hunting squirrels. It's like a hunting game. It straight up is like a regular hunting game on the first day. You're just going out and you're hunting squirrels. And it's honestly, I grew up with hunting games. If this was a hunting game back in the day and not a horror game, I probably would have enjoyed it. Honestly, if you took this game right now and just took the hunting aspect of it and made it into its own video game, I'd probably enjoy it as a hunting game. The hunting mechanics it's actually pretty fun. You know, you have to kind of keep your volume a little bit low so you don't scare off the squirrels. You can hide in bushes and stuff like that. So I think that it's really cool how they did the hunting mechanics, and it actually feels like a hunting game, but it's just tied to this horrific story. And this story ties into it because you are literally still hunting these squirrels, and you're not doing it because you're just a regular hunter. You're doing it because you are taking these squirrels and stapling them to a corpse. And that's basically when it goes back to being crazy, because again, you're playing the game, and it's just like you're a squirrel hunter. You're just hunting squirrels in the woods. You get all the squirrels, and then it's back to the horror, because then you're back to the cabin stapling the squirrels to the corpse, and it's just like, okay. And then after day one, the hunting gets weird. The hunting becomes super strange, because then you start hunting giant squirrels. There's a random giant squirrel in the woods now, and you can actually do a squirrel call to hear where the giant squirrel is. And the sound design is great in this game, by the way, because you can actually tell where they're coming from. You can follow the sound of the giant squirrel, and you can get right to them. So you're looking for this giant squirrel now, and it doesn't stop there. As you keep playing and each day progresses on, there's different types of squirrels that start popping up. There's these grizzly bear squirrel hybrids that start popping up that explode if they get too close to you. There's ghost squirrels that pop up, and they make creepy little ghost noises, and you can see them rushing towards you, and you can shoot them. And then there's these mutant squirrels called double squirrels, and they're literally two squirrels combined into one. It's very strange. It's very strange, and it just makes you feel uneasy throughout the entire thing. This game does a fantastic job of just making you feel uncomfortable. Especially because you're finding these notes in the woods too. And the notes just explain more of the lore. And each day you get a different note that explains more of the lore. Each day you find a different note that gives you squirrel facts. And some of the facts it gets more and more just disturbing and fits into the narrative of the game. It just gives you creepy things throughout the woods to find, these creepy notes to find, and then you can even find this thing called the Sin Shack. And if you go to the Sin Shack daily, you get extra points on top of your total score for hunting squirrels. And it's just like, there's a lot of disturbing imagery in this game. There's a lot of disturbing stuff, and part of, I think, what this game does so well is that it doesn't always tell you everything. Like, it doesn't specifically say what the Sin Shack is for. It doesn't tell you what's going on there, and because it leaves it ambiguous, it makes it even more creepy and disturbing. There's just so much creepiness in this game. It really does a great job of just the entire time making you feel on edge. And some of this paranormal stuff that also has happened in the woods is wild. You can hear whispers, and I'm pretty sure the whispers are from the dismembered corpse, and you hear some creepy stuff that the thing is saying. So there's a lot of weird stuff going on in the woods, and this all culminates. All this stuff, the reason you're getting all these scrolls and stuff, you're finding all these weird notes, and you're reading this doctrine. You can even find these. There's literally a page in the cabin that you can read daily, and it has a different scripture on it about squirrels. And the whole reason you are doing this is because you are preparing to meet God. I'm not going to explain what that means. I think it's better if you play this game and you find out for yourself. But it's interesting. And it ties into the overall message of this game. And it does a pretty good job. I enjoyed the ending of this game. I enjoyed the whole story. I enjoyed the lore. I enjoyed everything about this game. It was honestly a lot of fun. Before I end the video, I did want to talk about one other game mode that this video game has. You can find these little caches throughout the map, and you have to find one cache each day to be able to do this, and you have to do it in a single playthrough. And if you do that, you find all the caches in the one playthrough, you find each cache on each individual day, you unlock something called Giant Squirrel Mode. And it's exactly what you think it is. It's giant squirrels. It's literally, it just swaps out the regular squirrels for giant squirrels, and then the big squirrels that you can hunt become essentially Godzilla-sized squirrels. And it's kind of funny whenever you staple these giant squirrels onto the corpse. It looks pretty ridiculous. Overall, this is a fantastic game. I'm glad I played it for Halloween. I definitely recommend that you give this game a shot. Play through it once, and, just enjoy it, and then give the giant squirrel playthrough a try also, because I think that it's worth at least seeing. It's pretty interesting. So I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Go check out Squirrel Stapler on the PC, and I'll talk to you in the next one. You have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.